Hello and welcome. It is Monday the 16th of March, just the day ahead of St. Patrick's Day, which I'm afraid is there's not gonna much happen tomorrow. So we're all a bit stuck inside, and I thought I'm gonna make something, and at the end of it you can all make your own if you have the supplies at home. It's a small little mouse, and I'm going to show you how I do mine. So feel free to make your own. It takes about half an hour to an hour to make. Even children can make them. Might need to give them a bit of a hand, but they're quite easy to do. It's a bit of fun. Plus, you wash your hands. You'll be speakly clean afterwards. So let's start. Just let me adjust this so you'll have full view of my table. Now, so we just need a few bits and pieces. We need a bit of raw wool, just your normal wool. Then I have here some merino tufts in a nice grey together with a brighter grey. We need some eyes. I have 3mm eyes here. I think they'll be big enough. You can use bigger eyes if you want. It doesn't really make much difference. Then I have some ready felt that I have here. It's going to be the eyes and the tail of the little mouse. I have some needles. I have an awl because I need to do some work on the mouse. Strong thread, and I mean strong thread. If you don't have really strong thread, but you might have some fishing line, that's really helpful too. And just some needles, that's all. And of course a bucket of hot water because I'm going to wet felt this, okay? What's really helpful as well at times is a felting needle. You need it a little bit. If you don't have them, I wouldn't stress too much about it. You probably get away without them. Okay, so I'll start up in rolling the not so expensive wool into a ball. I use this wool. This is wool from those sheep that are outside my house. It's not very expensive wool, but because it's wool, it will felt. So this is the important part. You need to have wool that felts. So if you have knitting wool that felts, you can use knitting wool as well instead of this. So I'm just rolling this up in a ball. And because it doesn't really matter what size this mouse is going to be, it doesn't matter how tight you roll this up. So I'm quite happy with that size. There you go. It's about 10 centimeters in circle. Just going to measure it and I'll show you. Yeah, it's 11, but nearly 10, so it doesn't matter. Be a little bit bigger or smaller, it's no difference. So once I have that, I'm going to wrap it with my nice merino wool. Open it up a bit. You can obviously, if you don't have merino wool, you can use other nice wool as well that will felt. That's no problem. Because most of my work, if not all of my work, is wet felted, I would mostly use merino wool. It's an 18 micron, so that felts really nicely and quickly. So I'm going to cover all my whites, and I open this nicely and wide so it lays on it now very neat. And then I'll add a little bit of a different color as well, this light grey, which could be quite nice. We see when we're finished with it anyway if it's nice or not. But I thought I'm gonna make a mouse with two colours. So now, okay, this is just like that. So because I have felting needles, I just give this a couple of punches with the felting needle. If you don't have it, don't worry, go straight into the water. I just push this in and it won't open as easily. But see, that's literally all I done. So it goes into the hot water. And have the water as warm as you can tolerate it, but don't burn yourself. You see, when it's squashed, this all the bubbles come out. That's all the air that's in the wool. And I take some soap. The soap will help it to felt, but it also makes the wool slippy, so it's easier to push the fibres through each other. Now I just use any kind of soap. Some even take washing up liquid, but I find washing up liquid a little bit messy. So I just use, I don't know, this could be Dove. Just need this to felt. So you just roll it any way and any way at all. You can squeeze it. The more you squeeze it, the smaller it'll get, because you'll squeeze more of the inside as well. If I just roll it on the top like that, more or less I'll felt the top of the wool. Now people always ask me, do you have to keep dipping it into the hot water? No, you don't have to, but I like the feel of it. And I'm telling you, I have nice clean hands after that. So this will go on about 5 minutes, the felting of this. It depends how big it is. The bigger it is, the longer it takes, because obviously you have more wool. If you want to cheat, you can throw them into the washing machine together with a few tennis balls. That would be much quicker, but then you don't wash your hands. So for the purpose of this, and especially when you do this with the kids, it keeps them a little bit occupied. And some of the secondary school children have an arts project or a home economics project already finished. Now I'm almost happy with that. So that wasn't quite 5 minutes, but I suppose it depends on the quality of wool you have, the length of time it takes to felt, and it's also a preference. Some people like the felt to be really tight and others like it loose. I like it fairly tight, and I'm doing this fairly quickly, like I'm not just rolling it very gently and very softly. As you can see, I'm quite busy around this. So yeah, I'm happy enough with that. I'm just going into the bathroom and I'm going to wash this out. So I'll be back in a second. So it's all washed out and I have a little bit of water here left, and I'm going to add a dash of vinegar. And the vinegar will help to neutralize the soap that's left in it. It's very important when you work with vibrant colors, so they're not fading and they're not breaking up the fibers if there's left wool soap left in it. It's a bit like, you know, when you wash your hair and you don't rinse the hair properly, your hair gets dull after a while. So it's the same principle applies here. So that's it. I have my ball, just nice and round. So the first thing we're going to do with this little ball, we're going to pull out the nose of the mouse. So I have an awl here, and we just pull out this nose. Just take a little bit of the tip . Keep pulling. See, it's coming together. You see it? It's just getting the shape of a mouse already. So really pull this out. By the way, if you can't finish a project like this, just let it dry in the air, and when you go back to it, wet it again, because working with wool is a bit like working with sand. If you try to build a sand castle with dry sand, it's not going to work. And it's the same with wool like this. It has to be wet, it has to be damp, so we can shape it any way we want. And don't give in. The wool will eventually do what you want it to do, and it takes a little bit of practice, but you will get there. So you see, I just have a small little tip here, and just keep pulling it out and lifting it out, pushing that wool to the front, so I'll get a nice tip for the mouse's nose. So there you go. Okay, hope you can see it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a bead. Actually, I have 3mm beads, but I think I'm taking a 4mm bead. Where are they? Here. If you don't have beads, I mean, you can use any kind of might be a small little button that you have, or if you come across something else in your household. So I'm just taking my thread here and making a knot. Now I've an extra long needle here. You can use any needle at all. It just makes this a little bit easier. So I'm going here from the back to the front, and the knot that I have there should hold. If it doesn't, it just come out. Yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to replace this again with the smaller needle, because I don't think the bead will go through that one. Now, where's my bead? There you go. That's going to be attached here on top of the nose. And I'm going to it twice. So that'll hold. See it? Now, then I'm going to mark the eyes with pins where I want them. Just gives me a bit of an idea where I want the eyes and that they're level with each other. So that's where I'm going to put in the eyes. Because this wool is actually quite dark, you're not going to see the eyes as good. Maybe I should have made a white mouse, but anyway, it's just grey now. So from the nose, I go to the first pin and I take out the pin, and I can attach my 3mm eye, and I go straight through and through the other pin that I marked the eye. Straight out here. So there's one eye, and now I'm going to attach the other one. It's really not that noticeable with that dark colour. So now I'm back again to the other side where the other bead is with the eye. Now I just pull it in a little bit. Can you see it? Now it's really quite easy. So just go over and back a few times so the stitch will hold. That's it. Now, with my last stitch, I'm going to where I want the tail. So the tail, if I mark this again, probably about here. Okay. And I'm going to replace this needle again with a longer needle. Just makes it a little bit easier for me. So just out where the pin is, take off the pin. So now I have this bit of felt already done. If you do this with children, you can use bit of wool, knitting wool, a nice colour. It can be, you know, it'd be quite funny if it's a bit of red or blue on the tail. It's all a bit of fun. So this is her tail. It's quite long. It's more like a rat tail. They can make it a little bit shorter. So this is my tail. Attach another needle again. It's great when the thread unravels. Now, so I'm catching the thread, the tail, and I've just basically stitched it onto the so-called back end. With a few nice little stitches so it won't be too much seen. Now, smaller children might need a bit of help with this, so they're not going to lose it. Now, happy with that. She has her tail attached, so I can cut off the thread there. So that's that part finished. What we need now is 2 ears and a few whiskers, and then we're finished. So just get a thread. Just a bit of grey thread here. Now I have a habit of taking threads in double, and just simply because it's easier to attach to a project. You can take this in single, it doesn't make any difference. So again, I look at my mouse and I might go, okay, I'm gonna have the ears about there, and the other one there. It's a much bigger pin. Where's my other white one gone? Disappeared. Anyway. Now. Yeah, happy with that. So I'm going to put on the ears there, and again with my leftover wool, I'm going to cut out a half circle. A long half circle. Just like that. 2 of them about the same size. What's really nice as well, if you have leather at home, that makes a nice contrast as well. So there you go, two ears. If you have leather, that'll make a nice tail or ears as well. But I have a bit of felt here, leftover felt from another project, so I'm going to use that. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube how to felt flat pieces, so I'm not going to show you that. There's any amount of it if you don't know how to do it. So where's my grey thread? It's here. So I'm just attaching this here to the mouse. And I'm attaching the ears. And attach them any way that will work for you. There's no wrong or right way, as long as the poor mouse can hear something. And then I go over to the other side. So that's one ear done. And now the other ear. Take out the pin. The pins are a great help because they show you where to put things, especially when you stitch felt. Felt tends to move, and then you kind of don't know where to add stuff. So if you have pins in, the pins won't move, or else they'll move with the felt, so they're still in the right position. That's the second ear. Yeah, happy with that. Again, you can go over and back to the other ear and make sure to hold. That's it. Cut that off. Oh, nearly done. That's a cute little thing yet. So what I'm going to give her now is whiskers. Again, you can use all sorts. You can use thread, or what I use is a brush. And this is great to have because they're stiff. And so I'm just going to cut them down at the very bottom, as many as I want. And I can thread them. We go in here, yeah. And then just go and push them through here where the nose is. Okay, one after the other. And the best thing probably is to do when you're finished with it, to give 1 or 2 drops of glue on it so they won't fall out. Be careful now that you don't pull the other one out again. Now where's my needle? Come on. There you go. There's 2 in. I might put in a third one. Yeah, that one broke. Now this one might be better. There you go. So with a little bit of glue, that's just ordinary timber glue. You can use hot glue as well, but be very careful with hot glue that you don't burn yourself. So I just add a small little dollop of glue onto this. And when this dries, it won't be visible. So there you go. Here's your mouse. If you have lots of cats, you can attach a string and play with the cat as well, in case the cat gets bored. If you need any sort of materials, you can log on to feltfairies.com. There's a small shop section there where you can buy wool, you can buy felting needles, awls, and that sort of thing. And if there's anything else that you would like or that's missing on the list, you can always send me a message and I'll see if I can help. So listen, keep safe, and I chat to you another time, okay? And have fun. And by the way, if you are making a few of them, it'd be nice. It would be nice if you post them here on the site too. Bye.